Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the immigration rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
Bring it to your doorstep and simplify it the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.
I mean, we have also, in the course of practice under the Human Rights Act, know very well that even a child has a right. The rights enshrined under the Human Rights Act is not for adults, but for children as well. Now, is that not a breach of the child's right to make a decision where he goes to church to, even if the parents controls this? But this child now clearly, a citizen of the United Nations bound to enjoy this certain rights. Now somebody overseas, thousands of miles away, saying, I control what he eats. I make sure he eats morning, afternoon, evening. He attends this church. He goes to this school. I mean, where is the freedom that is enshrined under the Human Rights Act now? I think it's a court not contravening that.
It's a wide-ranging topic. So let's look at the 2 points you made. We're looking at the Human Rights Act, which applies to everyone generally within,
yes.
Europe
Even the child,
or the United Kingdom for our purposes. And then you're looking at the United Nations Charter on the Rights of a Child. But if you look at those rights, it is such things as the right not to be put into forced labor, and little bits and pieces like that.
Right.
If you then contrast that,
before we do justice to that, keep that locked. I think
right.
a call coming in here.
Okay.
Hello, hi, Sam from London. You're welcome to Law Simplified with Justice.
Oh, hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Go straight to your question, please.
All right. I just want to ask a question because can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Go on.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm looking to bring my niece from Ghana over to join me.
From which country?
From Ghana, in West Africa, Ghana.
Okay.
My only brother passed away last month, and my brother had a daughter of age of 8 who was also living with the dad and the mom, which is our mother. Our mother passed away last year, and therefore I had to go to Ghana last month to bury my brother. Now this niece of mine has no one to live with at the moment because I had to ask friends to take care of the niece. And where do I stand in bringing this child over to the UK?
Yeah, how old is the child?
The child is 8 years.
8 years old.
Yeah.
So does the child have any? The both parents are dead, you said?
The mother and the dad are not together.
The mother and the
child was born here. The child was born here, but the child, my niece, was born in UK. But for some reason, the mother and the dad got separated, and then my brother took the child to Ghana, and therefore we have lost complete contact with the child's mom.
Okay, let me stop you there to really get it very straightforward. This child lives in Ghana, correct?
She lives in Ghana, yeah.
Right, and this child was born here, did you say? In the UK?
She was born here, yeah.
And returned back to Ghana, you said?
And she's correct.
And where is the mother? The mother is in Ghana?
The mother is nowhere to be found for almost 6
right.
years now.
So the mother is missing. Where's the father?
The father has passed away. He was buried last month.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Sam, for calling. Yeah, we'll try to do justice to that. I'm sure your question will be whether or not you can sponsor this child. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. And if we don't give you straight, deep answers here, call us on the telephone number after the show, and then we can take more detailed instructions from you. But we'll just touch on it a little bit. Thank you for calling.
My pleasure. Thanks. Bye.
I mean, from what I understood from this color, you know, basically it's saying that this child was born here, returned back to Ghana. The child is 8 years old now. And while with Ghana, the mother is nowhere to be found, missing person, and the father is now dead. And this child is 8 years old, and he is the only person who can take care of this child. The child is, and he's in the United Kingdom. And I'm looking at it, in this case, does he fall under the exceptional circumstances, or because he need to show that he's been exercising sole responsibility? And unless there are stringent and excruciating compelling circumstances before this application can be considered. More details need to be dived into this.
The information we have is really not enough to go on. Child was born in the UK. We don't know what immigration status that child has, whether that child is a British citizen, in which case it shouldn't be a problem.
Yes.
Bringing that child over in terms of immigration.
Yes.
But there might be legal requirements to be met in Ghana in terms of maybe a formal adoption process or a residence order granted by the courts in Ghana to the gentleman caller. So it's something that you really need to sit down with the gentleman to speak.
And to get more detailed information here. So exactly. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct on that. Viewers, you see, this is why we bring this topic to you, to awaken your consciousness, to see that right in there where you're sitting, you can exercise one or two rights that are applicable to you. But the issue is that we can't do justice on this program with those questions. And that's why the numbers on the screen. So you just pick up the call us. So we need to understand the situation. Take more detailed, and I always use this word, tailored information from you, and then we can as well give you a tailored advice. It might well be that, if the caller is still listening there, it might well be that really this is an application that must succeed. But we must take more detailed instructions from you before we can take it to the next level and tell you precisely what you can do from there. Thank you for calling. We appreciate that. And I think we got a call calling from Croydon. Mrs. Olu, you are welcome to Law Simplified with Justice. Hello? Hello, Mrs. Olu? I think we lost that call. So we were discussing, you're going to dive into the human rights charter, the child, the human rights law, and the rest of them, in terms of taking away the child's decision or ability to make a decision.
Decisions on behalf of the child. Of course, there's the United Nations Charter on the Rights of the Child. But remember that even in English common law, a parent has a duty to a child.
Yes.
You cannot abandon a child. You must take care of the child, provide feeding, provide accommodation, and so on and so forth. These are fundamental. Fundamental rights, really, of a child, so to say. I mean, it may seem that there's a conflict, but really there isn't. A child really needs guidance, and that's why we call them children or minors until they get to a certain age, at which point they can start taking independent decision by themselves. So it is not contrary to natural justice or any kind of law that a child's parent is taking decisions from afar with respect to their child.
I get you that. I mean, it's also what one need to dissect more and to see. Sometimes it does cross the right of this child because the child is under 16, under 18 years we're talking about. And we know that at least 16, 17 years old, the child comes in and says, listen, I can do this myself. I don't want to go there. And how realistic is it for the parents to control a 16, 17 years old child who probably said, this is what I like to wear? And although the parents has that authority, under the law to still police this child, but 16, 17 years, 15, 16, 17, it's going to be very difficult. And to say this child, go to this school or not go to this school. Remember, they're not studying from peers. And they may say, I don't want to go to that school. It's not a good one. I want here. Then the sponsor is saying, I am taking charge of the school she goes or he goes to.
That goes on to individual family circumstances. Like you rightly pointed out at the beginning of this program, I recall you mentioned things about cultural influences.
Absolutely.
Or the way cultures behave. In certain cultures, a child remains at home at the age of 21 and still they do
It's
what
called
their
a child.
parents want, you know.
And they call the child. And then
Absolutely. And even in the United Kingdom, you've got families where the children are still living at home at 24, 25, maybe they're in full-time education, and the parents is assisting, maybe not taking all the decisions.
Yes.
The child may be taking some decisions, being guided by their parents. So it's a cultural thing or an individual family thing, really, which we are not concerned with, because
Absolutely.
what we're really looking at is the law, isn't it?
yeah, let's look at the other category.
Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the immigration rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
Bring it to your doorstep and simplify it the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.